Welcome back to the Reality Rejects. My name is Jacob.
I don't know which direction we were going. I guess me because I'm always here.
Is that the great void of no responses?
I'm Branden.
And on today's episode, we have Uncle Chris on the couch. Everyone, woo, 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 woo.
Hello, everyone.
Uncle Chris, how have you been? It's been
a long time.
I think since the Oscars slap since we had you
that's the last time
on the show.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since then?
So, doing this and that, keeping busy.
100%. 100%. Fighting aliens?
Fighting aliens.
Do you
ready for the next war?
Alien war?
Alien war?
Well, if it happens, would we be ready?
Ooh.
We'd be wiped out like a little colony of ants. We'd be extinct.
You think so?
I feel like aliens have better technology.
Well, absolutely. Case in point. Now, we don't want to ask, do you believe in aliens or all that, or are they here? Let's explore the point. What would they want to do with us? Let's assume they're here.
All right. What would they want to do with us if they came to our planet?
Yeah.
Human farms.
Human farms?
Yeah, human farms.
A lot of people would argue you're talking about harvesting organs, doing experimentations. Some people would argue that they're already doing that right now.
I mean, who's to say? I feel like at that point, if they're that advanced, we're nothing but some cattle.
Maybe they have their own Area 51 for humans.
What would they call it? The numbers would be reversed to be Area 15?
Maybe they would call it Antarctica. They call it Antarctica.
Oh, and
there's places in Antarctica where we can't even go.
You think that there are
aliens? It's restricted.
You think there are aliens living in Antarctica?
I don't want people in black suits visiting me, so I don't want to say too much.
I mean, you couldn't know more than anyone.
This is true.
So I feel like the information isn't dangerous yet.
Yeah,
you think there are aliens in? Wait, are you? So you think there are aliens on Earth?
I think it's a definite possibility. That there's
I feel like there's
no.
I feel like the government captured an alien before.
Yeah,
100%.
What are they doing with it?
They're if they didn't capture more than one, they had to already look into the alien and stuff. If the moon landing is real, why didn't they grab an alien there?
There's no aliens on the moon.
How you know?
What kind of alien? There's no atmosphere on the moon. It's just unlikely to find anything alive on the moon.
Right, but maybe the moon is like
what, a giant dragon egg?
No, don't be stupid.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Well, no, what sticks, Branden is right, that he believes that we did have maybe some alien technology. And one of the reasons how we would have that, one of the case in point would be Roswell in 1947, a rancher in New Mexico had this whole big story about how there was a crash of a UFO.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, the United States Air Force released a statement that there was actually an alien flying saucer in U.S. possession.
Alien flying saucer?
Yep. UFO had actually landed.
Why is this not bigger news?
Well, because then they came out later in the day and saying, no, it was just a weather balloon. And it came out, and then later on in 1978, there was a person from the actual event saying the whole thing was actually a big cover-up. And now more and more information is coming up. And a lot of people are saying some of the technology that we have was reverse engineering.
Like our iPhones?
Well, the iPhones are like a byproduct, but I'm talking about things even further back. Like the stealth bomber, when that came out in 1976, released by Jimmy Carter, we were so far advanced and it took everybody off guard when it came out that it could evade all technology. It was leaps and bounds.
Well, I mean, when I hear stuff like that, I just hear, there's really intelligent people who are able to make these things.
Bullshit.
And that's why, I feel like it'd be more realistic to have another, like all these, unidentified objects that we see in the skies, or, these, impossible maneuvers. Because I've seen, the Air Force's, release documents and, those clips and stuff. It really just looks like it would be more probable if another country just, had a device that they were experimenting with and, someone, saw it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think Earth is the only planet with a living life?
No, I'd be foolish to think that based on how large the universe is and how many other planets that live within the Goldilocks zone there are, just within our galaxy alone, it would be silly of me to assume that we are absolutely alone. But with that being said, I have not seen anything. scientists have not actually seen anything.
Allegedly.
So
Allegedly.
Okay, so how you see things is the material you read, correct? So you only read what they want you to read.
I mean, no. I read whatever I decide to read into. I mean,
Well, the reason
whatever's out there is what I have access to. I mean, isn't that how all of information works?
Exactly, but there's certain things that one of these things that it's believed there's these cover-ups is because they don't want to cause a mass panic. Now, one of the reasons why now that all this information is coming out, the U.S. is admitting that they don't understand this technology, these probes, and is making these maneuvers. Even the Air Force pilots are saying these are doing things we can't do. So it's definitely something way advanced that even our pilots don't understand. They think it's some kind of alien probes. That's their definition of it.
I'm not opposed to the idea that there are aliens. Obviously, it would not be surprising to me if there was some sort of life outside of Earth, but I don't think it's here. I don't know. It feels like somebody at this point would have seen something. Why is it that every time we have any footage of anything, it's never clear?
There are times, and I'm going to counter that, where things are crystal clear, and it's like, oh, that's CGI, that's fake. So no one's ever happy, whether it's a perfectly clear, or it's fuzzy.
It's kind of like the Bigfoot theory, you know? Like people see a
Sasquatch.
they're like, oh, it's just a gorilla. It's this, or like the lake monster.
Oh yeah, the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's just a log, like. Things like that.
It's much more probable that the Loch Ness monster was some sort of log.
What?
I mean, think about it. I mean, the amount of radar technology that people have dropped into Lake Ness at this point, and they haven't discovered one single piece of life of any sort of animal of that size.
Oh, it's only in one lake?
Yeah, Loch Ness.
Mainly one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They've dropped radar galore down there because people don't drop it.
They have found certain things. I've delved into that, not as much as other topics, but they have found sonar impressions of bigger objects, and of course that's never really clear. But they have found things that shouldn't be there at certain depths of the lake.
Sure, but you're telling me that a dinosaur has been down there this whole time, and not one person over the hundreds of years that people have been looking for Nessie, nobody's seen anything except for that one black and white.
Well, there are a lot of people that do
was
see things that are just dismissed. Like they're just like, oh, he's alien.
Yeah, but nowadays it just feels like I haven't seen a Loch Ness. And now that we're talking about better footage. I have not seen a modernized Loch Ness photo anywhere. But it just hasn't happened.
Yeah. But let me ask you this too: you know how people say these people that see these aliens or Bigfoot or whatever, people half the time it's crazy people. It's a homeless man. Maybe
the end is nigh. The end is nigh.
But maybe it's the government trying to make you seem like, he's just crazy. So you look at him, he's a crazy man.
Yeah, but I've met some crazy motherfuckers out there.
But this is the first time that the government's actually admitted that there's technology they don't understand. And now you have to ask yourself, why after all these years of denying, are they saying, okay, there is something out there that we don't know?
Because I think that the information is so accessible nowadays that it would be easier to just tell us what they know instead of lying and sending us a false narrative. Because they're not saying aliens, they're saying unidentified flying objects, right? These are things that are in the sky or doing these things that they have not identified. But that doesn't make it extraterrestrial.
So what is it then?
Well, I mean, it would be just as think about it like this. You know how many... I agree, Siri. I agree. Think about it like this. How many smart kids in the robotics class of our high school were there? Kids who built robotics that you and I to this day have no idea how they work.
There was robotic class?
You didn't know there was a robotics club in our school? We were a state-renowned robotics club. We had a really good robotics program. Either way, I'm just saying nowadays technology is so accessible that who's to even say it's a government? You could have devices, I'm sure, in someone's backyard that someone who just wanted to dedicate them, some knowledge to robotics could build something that is unmarketed, that the government has no idea of. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I'm saying that's so much more probable.
For years they were saying, oh, it's drones, it's this, it's that. They were saying, so if all these years they were saying it's this, that, whatever, now they're saying, oh, we don't know what it is.
So that case, so
feels like it's more
hear me
accessible.
Hear me out. So that raises and opens another can. So let's suppose that there's, like as Branden just mentioned, isn't there a possibility that maybe they're getting us ready? Like
Maybe. But I feel like we've always had this discussion. What is happening right now? Is there something that's so important that we need to know about it so that we can be ready? Because I feel like humans themselves are like, nothing brings us together more than just one common threat. Like if we're about to be attacked by something, we're never going to be stronger than when we're all focused on that one threat. That's not what's happening. No one's telling us that. Instead, it's just like, hey, there are things that are there's technologies that we are not familiar with that are in our planet right now. Doesn't really none of it really screams extraterrestrial. It doesn't.
How about those crops? That are
crop circles?
crop circles.
I mean, but that's another thing where it feels like it. All right, like Weird New Jersey. You like Weird New Jersey. Weird New Jersey got some weird articles on there. How do you explain half those things?
I never really read.
Well, it's just like, so Weird New Jersey, it's weird, but they're all human. Okay. Like all these things that happen in Weird New Jersey, all of it's done by humans. So like, I know that technically I was supposed to keep this a secret, but I was like 4 or 5 years old at the time, so I don't really give a fuck. But like, I had a teacher whose dad like strung up like a bunch of stuff on like a telephone wire all across like his town, and it was in Weird New Jersey, and it was like really famous.
Oh, I remember that they talked about that.
But besides like her telling me that, the town or whoever like lives there, as far as they're concerned, they have no idea how this got up there. It feels like it's the same thing where it's like, what if like a farmer was just like, I'm gonna do these circles. I have a plan on how to do it so that no one's going to be able to X, Y, and Z. And then he just does it. Now he has this giant art piece of these sculptures that has no explanations. And then people are so desperate to understand something that they'd rather call it an alien than look at the probability that someone probably just went in there and chopped a bunch of circles.
Well, there have been investigations, and especially some physicists who looked at them. There are a lot of them that are fake, but other ones that can't understand. The ones that they usually can't understand the patterns are the ones that have some kind of mathematical formula behind them. And also there's usually some kind of radioactive residue on the soil when they do soil tamping. It's not just the crop soils that they can do, but it's a whole bunch of other stuff on the soil.
Super cool. But also like where does like a lot of radioactive stuff come from? The planet itself. Who's to say that in those specific circumstances, those special circumstances where they built their crop circles didn't happen to be over, uranium plant? Or, I'm just saying, like, who's to say? Because if someone else can fake them and that's been discovered, whoever wants to put their time in to figure something else out, I'm sure they could really, really figure out whether or not it's fake or not. I'm just saying, none of this screams aliens to me yet. It doesn't feel like, I feel like if they were going to be on Earth, someone would have seen it by now. Or someone would have told us. Or something would have happened. We would have. How can you hide an alien like that?
Maybe they're living among us. Maybe they can change.
Like a scroll?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things. I mean, I do believe there's other intelligent life forms out. I'm not sure where they are. So, but if you take that step, if you do believe they're out there and they have to have conquered physics and understanding the G-forces and probably know how to bend time.
Sure.
So and if you go one step further, that means that most likely have a chance to visit here.
Yeah. If they have technology that is that powerful, absolutely.
So they can conquer light travel.
But at this point, it's just a conspiracy.
Do you think you think like the aliens, right? Let's say you say that there's life other than Earth, right?
Sure.
Do you think that those people, whatever you want to call them, right? They have technology better than us?
Yeah.
Do you think that? Or do you think they even have technology?
Well, I see it like this. The universe is what, like 13 billion years old plus? So who's to say that it only took Earth 4 billion years to fully develop life? From just like a bunch of space dust to whatever it became to where we are now. It took about 4.5 billion years. So there's another 4.5 plus billion years before Earth was made for other planets to fall into that situation. So let's say that 4 billion years ago, another planet that happened to fall in the same exact, perfect zone created life and did this whole shebang. At this point, it would be 8 billion years old. So it's like, they're probably a pretty advanced civilization. The only problem is, I mean, the universe is constantly expanding. Wherever they are, they could be so far away. They could be here for triple the time that Earth was even, blipped into existence, and they still might never reach us.
But like, I just feel like, perfect example. People theorize this, and like, my favorite history, and like, anytime I go like a museum, I like this type of history. Egypt.
You like
history.
Egyptian history?
Mm-hmm.
I like with the pyramids and everything, the culture, everything like that. Like how the pyramids are, like with the stars.
Yeah.
and
Have a
lines.
perfect line. We don't even have the technology to lay one of those stones on top of another.
Exactly.
Sure.
Some people theorize that they were aliens.
Yeah, I hear that, but there are hieroglyphics.
People don't know what that they mean. And some of them are not really fully.
So that's true because no one was around at the
Right.
time to know exactly what this means. But I mean, we have people who study linguistics who can go down there and definitely take apart context clues to build sentences, to build understanding. I mean, that's how we've decoded languages for years. I don't know the number, but a long time. That's exactly how people have figured things out. There's not any mention of aliens. I mean, there's not one single flying saucer.
What do you mean, no mention of aliens?
The aliens are not mentioned in the hieroglyphics.
That's not entirely true. Ancient Aliens has whole episodes of all these little part of Spaceman and all these things.
Isn't that the same exact
There's a lot.
network? Isn't that the
There's
same
a
exact-
lot. There's just that's one.
Isn't that the same exact network who gave me the history documentary about mermaids and their biology?
That was actually, I think, the Animal Planet, but that was so, but
They all
on the
kind of fall
pyramids
into the
themselves,
same.
There's actually depictions of spaceships and there are actually, but let's go to that area. Do we want to contact them? Do we? As we send probes up in space, where actually we put ourselves in the solar system, we show them exactly where we are. Do we really want to do that?
No.
We have no idea what's out there, so it's one of those things where, like, you send a beacon, you can't really pick and choose what's going to pick up that signal.
So
I think that it's one of those things that we inevitably as a civilization, if we want to level up, I think we need to talk. I mean, how does our planet operate with other countries? There's
Money.
trade, there's money, there has to be. So if we were to, that opens a whole new trade of resources that we can't even fathom. On the other hand, it's like, do they even want to open us up to that, or even worthy to be opened up to like the intergalactic trade network or whatever's going on? I have no idea. I just feel like that's like an inevitable next step if we want to ever become a multi-planetary
But then that comes into like, and it's funny you say that, and this just popped in my head, like how trade with them, and how the United States wants to be the king of everything.
Sure.
To be Russia, North Korea, South Korea, all that. So let's say that there is another life, aliens, whatever, right? And we want to build a connection with them and trade or whatever. Don't you think there's gonna be like a war in between that with like Russia, whatever country?
Yeah, you're asking if we're gonna kill ourselves before we meet the aliens?
well,
No. But like to be with like meet with the aliens.
and why would they want anything to do with us? Because unless to take us over, Stephen Hawking said in a conference in 2015 that it was a mistake to even try to make contact these civilizations. Human beings as a society, we have a horrible record as far as dealing with other civilizations. As far you go back to Cortez, Columbus, they wiped out whole civilizations, so they could just wipe us out as like a colony of ants, just to take our resources.
Other it's what we deserve. Maybe it's all building up to this.
Why would the aliens want to get our research?
Yeah, it's like
There's other planets.
Our
So
resources?
there's other resources that we have here. Other planets. It could be the zinc, iron. To them, that would be
Do you
a
think?
material that would be so rare. To us, it's like commonplace.
Do you think that would be anything on our planet's really that rare compared to the rest of the universe? I mean,
Every planet has a unique characteristic,
there are planets out there that are made of diamonds.
and there's planets.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Definitely. It's just carbon.
It's just carbon.
Carbon is, we're made of, take a bunch of carbon cells, push it down into a hell of a bunch of pressure, you got diamonds.
So we have
I knew a person who's so stuck up, stick one right up there, piece of coal right up their butt, 2 weeks, diamond. It's from Ferris Bueller's.
So the oceans we have and the water, you can make the argument that every year we're losing less and less water from our planet, and now that's one thing that a lot of the planets around don't have the water except in the atmosphere, but we have these vast oceans. So
Water's a pretty common chemical in the universe. Water is not. It's just hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah.
Those gases are everywhere.
But we have it in a liquid form in abundance. So there's a lot of resources and minerals that to them would.
That's true, which is rare. It's common, but it's not so common because typically when like a universe forms and those gases come together, when you get like a sun, the heat can, it essentially will evaporate all of those gases nearby. But because we're in the Goldilocks zone, we have liquid water and like it makes it special. But at the same time, it's like water itself is not that rare. Pluto is covered in ice. If they really wanted to get some water, why not just go to Pluto, cut out a big chunk, and just let it melt?
It's not so much the water, but it's the content in the water that they'd want.
What's
it's
the content? Our fish?
Special.
We're gonna kill it. We're gonna eat all of them before they get here.
As far as the living material, the biological minerals, it's totally different content. So
Titanic, yeah, love that stuff down there. I don't know. I feel like there's not much going on Earth for the aliens to really be enticed by us. Nothing but war.
Is Pluto a planet? Not a planet, a star?
No.
it's a planet.
Star.
Well, I know it's a planet, but I thought they said that it's not a planet. It's like a dwarf planet.
Yeah, a dwarf planet.
So it's just a dwarf planet? It's still a planet?
Well, the dwarf planet. It's smaller than like some meteorites.
I thought they didn't consider it a planet no more.
Well, it's kind of hard to define a planet.
Okay.
Like, what is a planet?
You're a planet.
No, like truly, what is a planet?
I don't know.
It's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to like define a planet.
Okay.
It's like a celestial being in space, but
Is the moon a planet?
No, the moon is a moon because the moon is a satellite.
Okay.
Because it orbits around us.
Okay.
So.
And the sun is.
The sun is a star.
What the fuck? What?
The sun is a star, yeah.
Since when?
So, from the beginning. The whole time.
So
the whole
wait,
time.
the moon's a what?
A satellite.
And the sun is a star.
Yeah. The sun is the center of our gravity. Is the center of our galaxy, of our solar system, and then we
go around the sun.
We go around the sun.
Huh?
And so like Pluto was included because it was like a celestial body that we discovered that like also is caught in.
Planets are there?
Technically 8. There are 8 that we count.
Then 9. You said 9.
Yeah, 9.
No.
9 in the solar system.
No. 8. Pluto was our 9th.
Yeah, that's 9.
So 8. Pluto's
I'm counting Earth. Yeah.
No, yeah. So counting Earth is 8.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
Yeah, right. But Pluto's not a planet. Pluto's a dwarf planet. It doesn't count.
Well, it's still a planet.
No, I mean, then you might as well count all the other meteorites.
Well, there's people that are dwarfs. They're still human.
No, but again, that's what I'm doing.
I still count them. They're still dwarfs. They're no less important. You can't say it's no less of a planet.
Well,
damn, got you.
Well, no, I can. No, because
you gotta give planet its rights.
Oh God.
Damn.
Well, no, because there are rocks that orbit Saturn that are bigger than Pluto. Are you gonna call those planets?
Let's Google it.
What?
Let's Google Pluto.
Google. What do you want to Google about Pluto?
Is Pluto a planet?
No, it's a dwarf planet.
That's still a planet.
But no, it's not.
What makes it different?
Well, because it's essentially too small to respect as a planet.
So
that's
you're
essentially what it's.
Whoa!
Guys, wait, please. This isn't me. I'm just trying to.
Oh
man, no! It's a planet. It's different. Guys, come on!
Holy crap!
Guys, I'm talking about space, man.
Fucked up, man.
No, I'm just trying to tell you. I'm trying to convey the facts. I'm just trying to say Pluto doesn't count.
Because it's too small.
It's too small.
Okay.
It's too small, man. You know, there's a quota.
Imagine how all the women feel.
Yeah.
No.
When they tell guys it's too small.
It's too small.
That
No.
you don't even count as a penis.
No, but this is the plan.
Unbelievable.
So can you look? No, Google it. I'm actually.
What do you want me to Google? What am I Googling? Is Pluto a planet?
Let's go. Exactly.
No, but it's... Guys, Pluto is a dwarf planet that lies in the Kuiper Belt, an area full of icy bodies and other dwarf planets out past Neptune. Pluto is very small and only about half the width of the United States, and it's the biggest moon. Current is about half the size of Pluto.
So
no.
I think the operative word.
It's literally telling you...
dwarf planet.
That's what I literally have been saying.
Exactly. So it's a planet.
But
No, a
there's other
dwarf planet. Right, there's like... I mean...
They didn't say dwarf star.
No, well, it's not a dwarf star. Dwarf stars are different.
Oh, I'm just saying.
There's a dwarf star?
Yeah, dwarf stars are like they're smaller, but they have so much condensed into them. Like a dwarf star is what usually is going to form either into like a black hole or like some like our star is going to become a supernova, I believe. It's when they like expand to collect more energy, whereas dwarf stars are so dense that what ends up happening is they implode on themselves and create black holes.
And like in Earth, like in space, there's multiple black holes, right?
On the planet?
No.
In our solar system?
Yeah.
Not in our solar system, no. In
Outside
our
the
galaxy,
in the galaxy
yes.
there is.
And does it just stay as a black hole?
Uh,
Does it
what do you mean?
like is there just in space just black holes throughout?
Yes, but it's really complicated. Black holes are really complicated.
Okay.
They're essentially like a singularity of just infinite amounts of mass.
Okay.
Because like if you were to take like a giant star and like smush it down to like this size and like took a spoonful of it, like it'd be so heavy you'd just fucking you'd crash through the crust of the earth straight to the core and everything would get ruined. It would just like it's just that much density. So you take all that and just put it into like one atom size like point, that's where you get a black hole.
So it's not like a big ass black hole?
No, it like so there's the event horizon, which is what you usually see, which is like the like warped space time that it like causes. But there's like a singularity at the center. That's a black hole, and they're all over. There's like it's believed that there's like one at the the center of our galaxy or something like that. That's like it's all complicated. Black holes are really complicated.
You go in a black hole and you just be gone.
No, you would die. And there's no escaping it because both time and space are like guaranteed to reach the center. So like your future, your past, like everything goes right to that point. It's really trippy.
What?
It's really, really confusing. It's really trippy.
Time.
Well, because like time and space, it's like there's
All
space
this-
time,
yeah.
and
Time,
like
space
space time just
continuum.
gets like swallowed into like a black hole.
So space time
Oh god.
and like regular time are so different.
Yes, because how we perceive time is not necessarily how time actually operates. It's really complicated. We're way off
it's rough
topic
base.
like this, but like if I were to try to break this down, number one, I would probably get some things wrong and look like an idiot.
Right.
But also, it just gets
Complicated.
so complicated.
Interesting.
It
I didn't
gets
know
so
that.
complicated.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, because like, yeah, it gets weird.
You wanna
It gets
clearly-
weird. Well, because like you know how like light. Like, you know, like when we look at like into space and like we see like the stars, like the light that we're visibly seeing from that is probably like millions of years old, and it's now just finally reaching us to see. So like that light, that like visible light, that like the time it took us to get there, imagine like time is like running on like a string. When it hits a black hole, that string curves into the black hole, and that's space and that's also time. It's all just going right in there. It's really complicated. It's really complicated. I hope I even described that remotely.
But like if time different in space, right? And like the moon, right? Does that circle Earth differently up there than here? Than we see them?
Like the speed in which. Well, I mean, all right. Well, like how fast are we spinning right now?
Not that fast.
Fast. I think it's like 26,000 miles an hour or something. Like that.
I always said that.
Or something like that. It's really.
I always
really
thought
high.
it was fast, and then my one science teacher was like, "You're wrong." Then you would feel it. I'm like, what?
All right, well, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
I mean, we do feel it. That's why we have gravity. That's what it cause. You remember? You ever see that mad science experiment I do with like the little tray and like I put
Yeah.
the cup of water and I spin it around, the water doesn't spill.
Right.
It's because of centripetal force. It like
It keeps
sticks
it on
it.
the side.
Yeah, it keeps it to the ground. So because the Earth is spinning so fast, it creates that force.
Is that why you sometimes see the sky move, like clouds move?
Well, the clouds are moving. I mean, there's like weather patterns and stuff, so
Okay.
that's like its own thing. Weather is also just like a whole other animal of just like complicated science. But
See, who says science is not cool?
you,
Oh.
we talked about it yesterday. You said I don't like science.
So Jake, a very interesting point you raised up. You see, you do believe that there's extraterrestrials probably somewhere out there.
Somewhere out there.
Somewhere
probably.
out there.
Probably.
So what would it take you to believe that they're actually here?
Well, let me see one. Or, like, have one make an announcement. I mean, like, if an alien wanted to invade us, they would probably pull something like General Zod and, like, make an announcement to all broadcastable media. At that point, like, the aliens aren't... Number one, why are the aliens trying to, like, pamper to us? To be like, oh, well, you know, it might cause a hysteria, so I'm going to keep it on the DL. Like, I don't think any alien's going to come to Earth and, like, really
they care
consider
about that. It's more of a
Right,
government.
I don't think they care about that. So I feel like, how are they going to come to Earth and not accidentally alert some people?
A lot of people have been alerted, but everybody says, they're quacks.
Yeah,
There's more.
I don't know.
every-
I feel like if they wanted to be
you look
seen,
it
they
up,
wouldn't be seen.
every day, every week. There's never been any.
Yeah, but it
tons
also
of
just
UFO
gets
sightings.
attention. It's
Well,
hard.
maybe
It's hard. There's so
maybe
many-
aliens are trying to find us.
They're looking for us?
Yeah, maybe us as humans are aliens to them.
No, we are. We
Exactly.
definitely would be. Yeah.
We would be.
So maybe they're looking like in their planet, right? They're Jacob and they're Branden, their Uncle Chris of aliens.
Yeah.
In the couch right now.
Yeah.
Talking about podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, that shit ain't real. Earth, bullshit.
But we'd have no idea. You know, it's
Exactly.
incomprehensible because
Right,
we've never
right.
seen these aliens. And the fact that they even have parallel lives to us who are doing the exact same thing except their skin is red or blue. You know, it's a crazy world
Why
out
not
there.
green?
I didn't get to all the colors. I didn't want to lay them all out.
Okay.
You know, those
But I
are the first ones
would
that pop in
think
my head.
green would be the first alien.
No, that's just like, I feel like that's from, you know, that's just us. Humans assume.
Maybe they're gray.
The gray. There actually are.
I would
grays.
say it'd
They
probably
say
be
there are
closer to gray.
grays.
Well, you know, a lot of like theories are because we're carbon based, because there's like an abundant amount of carbon in like our area of the like galaxy. There's other situations where there's an abundant amount of silicon.
Silicone?
No, not like the breast implants. Like, no. Like there's a bunch of boob aliens just like walking around. No, it's like it's just another chemical
Okay.
that like could potentially also spawn intelligent life.
Now, what do you think aliens look like?
If I were to guess, I would say that aliens in space, if they were not carbon based, I'm just assuming that they're not going to be carbon based. I don't know. I'm sure there are carbon based. If they're not, they would probably look like the aliens from the movie Alien. Not necessarily identical, but like that same like, you know, that weird like stringy like build structure. I've done like weird.
Like aliens.
I've dove into like the
Sigourney
rabbit hole.
Weaver aliens?
Yeah. Well, I've done because those are like silicon based creatures. I've dove into like theories on what a silicon like alien would look like. Are you looking up silicon based aliens?
No, I'm looking at the movie Alien.
You've never seen a xenomorph? They're like the ones with like the little like things that come out of their mouths.
Yeah.
They have those
Yeah.
like egg planter things that got like the vagina on the bottom, and they like
Mhm.
they like impregnate like humans, and they burst out of their chest and
This
start
one?
singing, "Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby."
like that?
Yeah.
You think they look like that?
Well, I'm saying that it's more probable that if there was a silicon-based life form, that it would look closer to that than to us.
So how would they even make any ships to get here?
Not like this.
Well, in the movie, hey, that's Paul. You ever watch that movie?
No.
It's funny. It's Simon Pegg, Seth Rogen.
How about E.T.?
Nah, I don't like him. Was not a big fan of EP. You know, ET's in the Star Wars movies.
Really?
Yeah, did you know that?
Did not know that.
Yeah, I say that they're not on Earth, but that they're probably out there.
And they never visited here.
Um,
And we don't have
I'm
any of their
just, you know,
technology.
I couldn't say. The other thing is like I never took like a class to teach. Like I don't know computer science like that. I don't know like technology. Like I've never really dove into technology like that besides filmmaking technology. So like I know how we got from A to B through that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How we got from like the Macintosh to like where we are now with like our iPhones. I don't know how we got there. I don't know what the steps were taken, but it feels like to me that there's a very clear sign of gradual progression. It doesn't just like we didn't just wake up one day with an iPhone 14. This is a 13, but I'm just saying. Like, we didn't wake up one day with an iPhone 13. We had to go through the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5,
there
the
is,
6.
but you're forgetting the whole initial step where this technology was. So, case in point, where we had the new V's or the navigational systems that was released to the public around like 2003.
Sure.
And the United States military had that for a good 30 years before we even knew what that was.
Before we as like society. But again, like
it.
that's the other thing though, is like technology and like secrets were much easier to hide when not everyone had a supercomputer in their hands.
Sure.
And one of the reasons we have the supercomputer because this information was released to the general contractors. They're the ones who actually worked with the military.
Well, there were computer engineers though. I mean, how did Steve Jobs build his company? I mean, right? Didn't he like build his own computer and just continue to upgrade and renovate and hire minds of people that also knew these things in order to like reach the status that we're at right now? It feels like I've watched a gradual progression.
That was a natural, but that technology that started from that wasn't the great leaps and bounds that we've taken. Like in the other aspects of this whole
it's hard
computer.
because I also can like look at like we go to museums all the time, and whenever we go to a museum, we'll see like what a radar from like the 30s looked like, and now we have like radar unlike anything they had at the time. It's like, well, there's radar at a time where there wasn't a lot of technology and it's pretty primitive, and now we have like advanced radar today. It just feels like most technology that I'm familiar with, it doesn't feel like it just popped out of nowhere. It feels like there's a lot that was happening that we didn't see. Some of it got released gradually, and some of it just became, everyday technologies. It doesn't feel like someone came out of the sky and was like, here's this device, left, and then just had us, like, figure it out. It doesn't feel that way. And also, like, nothing feels alien about our technology. That's another thing. Like, I'm not like sticking my hand into like a ball of goo to like manipulate electromagnetic fields. Like,
So here's the thing: if you right now, because we're at the right time to accept that, if you had that iPhone back in 1950, that would be alien technology.
Right, but that's the thing. It would be alien technology because there's the leap and bounds from what, like a radar that can barely go 10 feet to something that literally can send text messages. No one else would be able to do that. That would be wild.
So isn't it interesting that I mentioned before that in 1976 we had a plane that could defy all radar, that people were just astounded didn't even think it was even existed?
Yeah, but it doesn't.
That was like leaps and bounds above everybody else.
All right, well let's talk about like Oppenheimer.
No other government
How did we get a nuclear
close
bomb?
to that?
How did we get a nuclear bomb?
We had scientists work on that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We had people that were like, "Oh my God, It's another thing where it's also like there's a race against the clock, right? Mm-hmm. The Russians were building a bomb. We had to build a bomb. The Russians wanted to go to space. We had to go to the moon. It's all about like there are specific things that fuel like these progressions. I feel like there's a very clear point A to point B on how we got here. It doesn't feel like there's just a weird jump.
There is a point A to point B. I think that point A started way ahead, and then we got to the point B and C, but we got like a big leap ahead of some of the things.
And you definitely think it was alien influence?
I think some of the stuff is reverse engineered.
From aliens?
Yes. From the craft.
I agree.
You also think so?
I think there's certain things that, could be from alien. Like maybe even AI, man.
No, because that's another thing. It's like I know how that software works. I mean, like I'm not an AI like professional, but it's open source, right? People read it prompts, it learns from these prompts, and it builds information off of that. The AI isn't thinking on its own. It's not actually artificial intelligence yet. Correct. But we're not there yet. But with that being said, like right now we're talking about AI in its primitive form. When we get to that point, are we going to be saying the same thing that an alien gave it to that? Yeah. No, because I can see from where we started to where we are. There are like different. There's ChatGPT 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean? It wasn't ChatGPT 4, or ChatGPT 1 wasn't doing what ChatGPT 4 is doing. So it's like these technologies have a clear start to finish. It doesn't feel like anything just popped out of nowhere. I can see, like, I know that 1 million people that logged onto this website asked 1 million different questions, and then this algorithm was able to build off information that makes the most amount of sense based on whatever numbers it's running, and then it sends back, you know, prompts or responses that fall in line to what should be the most accurate. It didn't just do that in a day, you know. So I feel like I would need to see something where it's like that doesn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, it'd have to be so drastic that there'd be nothing else explained.
So let me ask you this, right? If a person saw a video, if someone took a video of an alien, right? You could tell it's an alien. Would you be like, okay, I believe in aliens now?
It's a clear video of like an alien. I mean, I've seen clear videos of aliens.
Yeah.
But it's when I'm also living in like an age of society where there's so much misinformation that it would be.
It's kind of like the moon landing.
No.
So wait a minute, Jake. You wouldn't believe it unless it was cut up in front of you and you say, "Okay, that was an alien."
No,
We'd have to kill it,
but I would
slice it
need.
and dice
But
it,
I
put
would
it on
need
a
like
plate.
I would need something like more than just like people on the street saying, "Oh my god, I found an alien." I mean, how many times have people like gone up to each other and been like, "Oh my god, we should just like make a hoax." And that's probably been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. No, I don't need to meet the aliens, but like if the news if like public news starts going crazy saying, "Oh my god, we found aliens," I'm probably gonna be like, all right, there's probably a pretty high chance that whatever they're talking about means that it came from space and it's alive. Now I know that probably sounds like not the best decision, right? To wait for like the everyday media to tell me whether or not that's true. But at the same time, it's like that type of information needs to be so massively covered for it to be anywhere possible. Yeah, but I'm talking like on the day that someone says, "Oh my god, I found an alien," and then you get like these independent journalists who go to this thing to figure it out, and they're also like, "Holy shit, this is actually an alien." And then it spreads, and people like on CNN and Fox News are like, "We don't know how to tell you this isn't an alien." Mm-hmm. That's going to be the day where I'm like, all right, well then what information? Like, what reason do I have to sit here and say that's not an alien?
You need multiple people to say.
You need multiple sources, and you'd have to verify
but like
yourself.
how else would I be able to verify it? How else would anyone else be able to verify
So
it?
if Branden saw like an alien, would you believe him?
If Branden saw an alien, well, that's a different story. He's coming up to me, he's telling me he saw an alien, and I would say, "Holy shit, what happened? Show."
No, you'd be like, "Shut the fuck up."
I'd be like, "You gotta show me that. You'd have to prove it to me. Are you gonna come up to me and just tell me a story about like your alien adventure?" If you're like dead ass, if you're super serious about it, being that you're someone I know, I would probably believe you. I mean, you know, I didn't see it, but I would tell people like I have a friend who claims he saw an alien. I mean, I didn't, but this is his story.
I took a video.
If you took a video on your phone and were like, "This guy came down from space. Oh my god!" and you showed it to me, I would believe you. Mm-hmm. I would definitely believe if you have it on your phone, motherfucker. Because I know you don't know how to do CGI. I know you don't know how to fake anything, and you would be so dead ass that of course I'd believe you. But that's not what's happening, and that's not what's gonna happen.
Hey,
probably that's probably not what's gonna happen. What's probably gonna happen is a bunch of millions of people are going to be on the same page about this, and it's going to spread. I mean, how do scientists come up with scientific discoveries? They have a scientist in the U.S., they have a scientist in the U.K., they have a scientist in Japan, they have a scientist here. They're all doing their own independent studies about the same exact thing, and they all come together and they talk about their findings, and they realize, holy shit, we've all come to the same conclusion. That's not a coincidence. That means that what we're talking about here makes sense. So that's the only way I can receive plausible information. Like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not someone who's doing these things, and the alien's not going to come to Jacob Kelly, the film guy. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's not going to do that.
Maybe you want to be an actor.
And maybe I'll give him a shot. You know, maybe we can reach interplanetary, audiences, and that would be great. What an opportunity.
Fucked up if he does the whole process of the acting coming in.
And
you're I don't like him.
He comes down right now, but everyone's striked. He's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I left my planet all for this.
Knocks on our door tonight.
Again, I mean, like, if an alien knocked on my door, I'm not that. I'm not that ignorant.
You know, we had crazy stuff happen.
Yeah, we've had crazy stuff, but I'm not that ignorant. If an alien is in front of my face,
I would hit it with a baseball bat.
I don't resort to violence. I would let it kill me.
Would that be a hate crime?
It would.
Would it be a law against to kill an alien?
I don't think there are laws yet. No. Yet. But stay tuned because we're a friendly nation and we want you guys here.
We're friendly?
Yeah, to an extent, Did you hear that? Just a little burp. I don't know. That's where I come from. It's like you guys talk to me like I'm crazy for wanting like multiple professional opinions on something that like none of us would be able to identify ourselves.
So you believe it, which is great. If Branden saw it on, that'd be undeniable proof he couldn't fit.
I mean, I have no reason to not believe Branden.
So what about all these people from the Air Force had 30 years of training and they see things?
But I don't know these people.
But they have very good credentials.
I mean, like, how many of them could sit in a cockpit with a couple of their Air Force buddies and say, man, my career here sucked. I literally wasted my life in the Air Force doing absolutely nothing. We should come up with a theory. We should
destroy their whole career and the reputation.
What career? Most of these guys in, like, these shows that I've seen you guys watching are, like, old. Like, you see like, 80-year-old men talking about their Air Force experiences back in, like, the Vietnam War, and they're like... It's like, yeah, all right, well, what else are you going to lose?
Yeah, but there's Navy pilots now. There's Navy pilots now. They're still active. They're seeing these things.
But why?
They're risking getting. But the problem is they're risking.
What happened to your little friend? Where'd you get them?
Scoreboard.
So
they're risking their whole career coming out and saying things when they're still actively.
But then what comes of it?
What comes of it is that it opens people's eyes and people.
But it only opens
congressional hearings. That's why these things are so big now. It's in the news.
It only opens our eyes to conspiracy theories. There's nothing that's like. You're gonna know it's legit the day the U.S. government says, "Holy shit, they're aliens." You're gonna know it's legit.
They're not gonna.
You're saying they're not going to because they haven't.
They're gonna do. They're gonna admit it when their hand is forced, and they have to admit it.
But like. Once that happens, like that again, that confirms it. So it's like, all right, so we're not there yet.
They're actually saying it's there or not saying it's there by saying we don't have any answers, but they're not saying that it's not.
I think it's one of those things where like they don't have concrete proof. It's like you can't send someone to jail because if you don't have all your information, if you don't have indisputable facts, you can't.
They're saying before they're always Project Blue Book wasn't to the whole purpose of that was just to discount the whole proof of all these UFOs, and about most of them they were just discredited, but there is close to like 8-10% that were actually unexplainable. So they're actually saying on these things that the Navy pilots see with these probes, they don't know what it is, but they're not actually saying that it's something they don't understand, but they don't know what it is. But
it's something we don't understand.
But it's something beyond our capabilities. That's all they're willing to admit in front of when they're getting questioned.
Is it?
That's what they've been questioning. This is a big thing. They're sending hearings on this now.
Technology is so wild. Do you really feel like it's so unbelievable that we have like these resources?
It's above our technology.
How do you know that? What does it mean to be above our technology? Like, what is above our technology?
Time travel.
Yeah, but like time travel is complicated. It mathematically possible. But complicated. What proof do we have that aliens are time traveling? Because in order to time travel, as far as what I've learned and what I've been told about it, if we were to ever even attempt that, we would first have to be able to like we can't go back in time. We can only go forward in time.
Go forward in time or somehow bend time.
Well, time gets warped based on speed, right? You keep a clock. What was that? Einstein did a thing where he kept a clock on Earth, put a clock in a jet, and then
it was a difference of
flew it
time.
around, and they were changed. It was warped.
Yeah,
that's clear. So we know. I mean, you send someone to space, you send them back. You send someone to space, you send them back. The time it was on Earth is not going to be the same time that it should be when they arrive. They're going to be younger. Earth's going to be older. It's really complicated. It's complicated.
So if you're saying that there's technologies you want to understand. That maybe we do have all these other technologies. So then, where do we get these technologies?
What are these technologies that you're referring to?
So let's say going faster than light travel.
But we don't that's not a thing that we have.
Or just to automatically change G-forces in directions that our military can't even understand, or how they can just go from Mach 10 to Mach 30.
Well, how does a hummingbird hit his head against a tree millions and millions of times over again? Really fast.
without you doing any damage?
Without damaging himself.
Because their tongue is wrapped around the brain.
All right, so their brain is protected, right? It's got like a
Correct.
cushioning. So
Correct.
who's to say that we can't learn from that technology to build something that can shift us to such powerful G's in a device that could sustain that power to also keep the pilot safe using I'm just saying a similar technology.
You know how
that's plausible.
You know how nobody can keep a secret? If that were true, somebody from the military, there's always people that work from
there
Grumman
are
and all these other
secrets.
contractors that would say, look, and they all admitted we don't have that technology.
Well, there are secrets though. I mean, how'd they build a stealth bomber and then no one knew until it was released? I mean, obviously there was either secrets or maybe there's aliens. But it's more probable that the people working on this project just kept their mouths shut. You know? All right, we'll think about it like this. Like, Branden thinks the moon landing's faked. Branden thinks the moon landing's faked. But my argument...
There's a movie about that. Capricorn 1.
I haven't seen it. But my argument to that is always like, there were like hundreds of people that worked on this project. None of them kept their mouths shut about the project. Everyone is on the same page that they went to space. The Russians would have done anything to prove that America didn't go to the moon. They would have done anything. They didn't want us that victory, but not a single Russian has come out and said, hey, that was bullshit, because it wasn't bullshit. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I feel like it's more probable that we have the technology.
So when they came back, were they younger?
When they went to the moon?
Yeah.
Actually, so it's not they were not exactly.
So your point
it's
before
like different.
is voided.
No, it definitely is not voided. I think that
when they came back,
you're misunderstanding the point. It's like if you were to, like when I was talking about when you see like the stars in the sky that are like millions of miles away, like it took millions of years for that light to reach us. That star, if you were to like teleport to where that star is, it's probably gone. Even though we're seeing the light here. So if you were to travel like super fast, let's say you travel 10 light years away. That means that it's going to take 10 years for the light that you're at to like if Earth's giving off light, it's going to take 10 years for the light from Earth to reach that point. If you go all the way out there and then come back here in like 0.2, Earth is not going to be at the same point that you came and left it at. However, the moon is pretty close to Earth. So yes, they would have been younger, but not by like a calculable point. Like it's not going to, they're not going to be like years younger.
When did they come back? How long did it
They
take?
weren't on the moon that long. Like I don't know.
There's only difference a couple seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's a couple seconds.
It's very minimal. I think like the time they were even on the. I think the whole expedition took less than a month.
Yeah, and there was a difference. Came back at the time that was.
So no, my point wasn't voided. It's just like it's more complicated than that. Just it's based on distance and time and space and all these other things.
Your distance.
Well, you got me on that one. But again, going back to it, just from what it seems like, it'd be more probable if it was terrestrial than it was extraterrestrial. No?
I think there's just so many technologies that we just don't understand.
Absolutely. I mean, think about like a country that like that hates us, like China, right? There was that big the balloon, the little weather balloon that came in, right? Like that we had difficulty detecting. I mean, people in other countries are working on things that we have no idea of. Whether it's an enemy country that's building these devices.
But the weather balloon wasn't any vast secret technology. That was just,
still made it past us.
It was actually over the United States several times, and this is the only time we did anything because it was low enough that people actually saw it. The other times we didn't even do anything.
We didn't care.
Because
weather balloons are allowed to be.
Yeah, but this time it got the civilian population saw it. People could see what
They freaked out. They
had to do a show. They had to do something, and they had to wait for it to get over the ocean before they shot at it.
It's so complicated. It's so, I don't know. I my brain struggles to comprehend the probability that what we have is from somewhere else.
That's exactly why they don't want to say, hey, if they are here, it would cause a panic.
I don't think I would panic. I'm not even sure I would really care that much. I'm talking personally. I don't think I would care that much if they were aliens. I don't think me personally would be so surprised. I think I would find that to be a pretty normal Tuesday, except now there are aliens. It would probably I wouldn't even feel like I'd be put in my place, because I'm not saying that aliens don't exist. It just feels like I just very clearly don't have any proof of that. But I fall in the same category and like my feelings about like God and like like I'm not saying there's nothing there, but like I don't see anything. And from the people that like study these things, they also don't see anything. So until something's discovered, I really don't.
There's a lot of information that's there. You just have to, open your eyes.
Wake up.
Yeah. Wake up, bitch. I'm awake. I don't know. I really don't know.
Do you wish you're wrong? Do you hope you're wrong?
Hope I'm wrong about what, though? That aliens are already on Earth? Mm-hmm. Do I hope that I'm wrong?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I don't want aliens on Earth right now.
I don't think we really want them here because I don't think it would cause it'd be anything good would happen.
Yeah, I don't think it would be helpful. I don't think the time is now. I don't think we're worthy.
You're not worthy.
I would say I agree. I would say I would agree. I feel like I'd be worthy if I felt myself to be affected by the fact that there were aliens, but I wouldn't care all that much. I have no control over it. Russians got nukes. Send them over here. When am I going to do that? I don't care. I want to make movies.
No one cares until it happens to them.
Yeah,
so they start invading.
But all that's going to happen.
I care now.
Because all that's going to happen is I end up where I'm supposed to end up anyway.
You'd be part of one of the resistance movement.
I don't know.
You and Branden would be on the same squad. I'd be in one of the back movement squads.
I don't know if I would care.
I don't think me and Jacob would be.
I don't know. I don't know. What? Yeah. Whose team are you on? The Mad Max team? You gonna get those cool cars? Yeah. I want a cool car.
Come on.
But you don't even know how it works. He might be like assigned like as far as the civilian population to protect this whole Denville. We'd be in like Rockaway resistance. There'd be all the.
I don't live in Denville.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. What am I talking about?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Mine Hill.
Yeah.
Mine Hill resistance.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want the trouble. I don't think it's gonna happen. Think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not in my lifetime. I got nothing to worry about. I'm more worried about us killing each other than I am about them killing us. You know what I mean? Like,
are you gonna be dead after this podcast?
I just I have no quarrel with these aliens. As Nick Fury once said, I'm sorry, Loki, an ant has no quarrel with a boot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Said aliens have no quarrel with the ants as
I have. Right. I just have no interest to get squashed. I'm a play it by day type of person. Whatever happens, happens.
I'll fuck a grandma alien.
What?
But she could be like a lizard. Be careful what you wish for.
Smash.
No.
A big lizard reptile.
Oh, Homo reptilian. I mean, I would find that to be more likely.
Me fucking alien grandma?
No. No. No, that there's like other human species on the planet before I would think that there are aliens on the planet. Like I would find it to be more probable that like at some point like the human gene, the Homo sapiens, they splintered off. It'd be more probable that the Animal Planet documentary about the mermaids is more likely than I feel like the fact that there's aliens on our planet right now.
What?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, well think about it. I mean, because most of life comes from the ocean. Mm-hmm. It all evolved from that point. Mm-hmm. Who's to say that at some point, whatever the initial species was that branched into what became humans, didn't just have a common ancestor that branched off and became
maybe
mammals. I mean, we have whales. They're mammals that live in the ocean. Who's to say there aren't mermaids? You know what I mean? Just saying. And who's to say that some of them didn't go underground and become lizard people? Homo reptilians.
What if would a mermaid be an alien? A type of alien?
No, that would be human because it would be terrestrial. It would be of our planet.
Okay.
And we would technically be common ancestor. I mean, if you've been to the Museum of Natural History, you would know that there used to be like tons of different human species.
I met an alien.
Yeah. There were.
My mom's an alien.
Hi, Mrs. DeJesus. Really? You think she's an alien? From where? Venus?
Brazil.
Yeah. No. Oh God! You can't say that.
well,
Is that not what they call them?
it's an alien. We're a different type of alien.
I cannot with you people.
You people.
Well, wait a second.
No, I can't be racist. I'm black. Thank you for watching The Reality Rejects.
And on that note,
we are every Friday. Comment below and let us know if you think aliens are living on our planets. I personally don't think so. So leave a comment if you're Team Jacob, or leave a like if you're Team everybody else. Because it seems like I'm the only one who thinks about this.
thank you, everybody.
But as always, in case we do not see you, I hope you have a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. Bye-bye.